up, y'all? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Islamism and every ism extended to every true and righteous brother and sister with purity of heart, because that's what it's all about. I just wanted to talk to y'all for a minute. And by the way, I am no lawyer. I am not your attorney. If you need some legal advice, you need to seek proper legal counsel. What I intend to bring to you is a lot of lawful everything. So we're not dealing with the legal system at all. No second union. But when we deal with the second union, you must understand that these people are contractors. They contract and they seek to contract with you using the adhesion contracting system that America has created with this pursuance of this second union. Now, with this second union, you must understand that this is the federal government. The federal government established as the second union, established for commerce, for commercial trade, and they brought forth paper money with the House Joint Resolution 192, along with different types of notes, promissory notes, deeds, titles, bills, everything that was paper, that cotton fiber paper that you trade every day. Excuse me, that you trade every day in commerce, that you accept governance for. Now, you must understand that this paper money, when traded, you are trading your energy, you are trading yourself, your soul. This paper money has registry numbers on it, which are QSIP numbers and OMB numbers. They are tracked, who they release them to, because they harvest your signature after they release the paper money. While they release it, harvest your signature with the endorsement of the bank account of the check that you work for. You're seeking your paper for your work week, and they're seeking your signature for adhesion. That actually monetizes commercial paper. It makes commercial paper. So when you sign your check, you're actually giving away your surety, and you sign in trade with the enemy. That's why they got the Trade with the Enemy Act involved with this whole status correction process. A lot of people don't have a clue. You could set up an LLC, you could set up a sole proprietorship as a business. You may do whatever you will. That is your choice. But you must understand the consequences of these actions that you make. Now, for the idiots that's chasing the dollar, the Federal Reserve note, the fiat currency, and that's all what life is about to you. When you set up these LLCs, it's limited liability, but there's no protection. The only protection that you can draw from is your public filing and your proclamations, your declarations. Now, your public declarations, when it comes down to it, your public declarations are what's going to stand. If you haven't filed correct public declaration or proclamation, where is it going to show that you're not a citizen? And then if you file the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of Morocco, I got sad news for a lot of you Moors, man. Hard-headed, stubborn Moors who are chasing finance, the FRN, just like everybody else. Or you chasing some type of position of power because you think your knowledge is far more supreme. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you continue thinking along those lines, you're going to perish. Right along with the Luciferians, because you align right with them. The articles of the past that were amended per the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, there's been four 4 amendments that basically binds any person that seeks rights and protection underneath the articles of that treaty of peace and friendship. They've actually amended the articles in the past to where they corporatize you as well and keep you a corporate slave and citizen. If you look right on your nationality cards, right on there, citizen of the USA. Now, you can say whatever you like. Now, I'm not disrespecting anyone. You know, I come in peace. You know what I mean? I come with divine love and light. Light is knowledge, the knowledge of self. Okay? Now, in the past, the arrogance of man has been the true sin when you disregard your divine will that has been given by Allah, that part of your God, your Father God Allah. How can you ever disregard his lessons? How can you ever disregard his books? How can you ever disregard his path? How could you ever disregard his gift unto you? Your will made a band of angels bow down to your feet as man, Atum. You could say Atum, A-T-U-M, which is the ancient way of saying it, or you can go further in dialect and break it down into the Tajweed change, which is the dialect change when the first tribes were conquered by different tribes who were springing forth back then and coming forth, trying to make their tribal name. When you conquer a certain tribe, you adopt that name because it becomes yours. You keep what you kill. So if you conquer the tribe, you keep the name. You conquer the tribe, it's yours. You conquer their flag, you take all of their shit. That's just how it goes. So, now, back in the day when there was no religion, religion only means Re. Re is the sun god. Ra, Re, you know, the universality, and the, you know, the oneness of the gender. There's no gender. It's omnipresent, omnipotent. So with that being said, the religion was changed in dialect throughout the time, just as well as Atum. A-T-U-M became A-T-O-M. No, A-T-O-M was first. That is the creation. The Neter Shu created. Atom, A-T-O-M, the particle. But it was A-T-U-M first, I believe. Well, you have to do some researching on your own. Don't just take my word for it because I've been shot in the head. So I be kind of like, my memory be kind of spacey. But inshallah, that gets better, I mean. But to everybody out there who listens and follows, man, I'm not doing this for any type of egotistical reasons, because that's been a mistake of man in the past, using his will to enforce his idea as the grand idea upon others. This is a sin, yo, and you will account for that. You better start getting into your lessons, man, and really studying, man, instead of relying on people like me. But I got to do this, man. I feel like it's my job. I'm a knowledgeable one, and I got the truth. So I'm trying to spread it in these last days and times, man, before all perish that are a part or a citizen employee of the federal government. The federal government is privatizing soon. That's why the money reset, the monetary reset back into the gold standard. And if you are a citizen of the federal government, you must understand that when it comes to the republic and the jurisdiction of the territory of the municipality of the federal government, you got to understand this first. The federal government gives no fuck about you other than money. Your signatures, your adhesions, your signature. You know what I'm saying? It creates the bond that they make on you, that they trade on the stock market that backs the money, those actual numbers that are on the money are your CUSIP numbers on your birth certificate and on your social security card. Now, I'm in the middle of zeroing out my social security card so I can get my whole demonstration out that system, And I'm trying to also make strides to get my son back as well. I got a lot of different fronts that I'm facing, but I'm built for it. And Allahu Wellam, Allah knows best. I know I make my strides and I try to do well. But nevertheless, the federal government had a responsibility when they were incorporated as the second union. They had a responsibility to the republic for which it stands, that every square mile of the republic can only be maintained and populated by a certain amount of the citizenship, or we the people that weren't citizens in the beginning. There was no citizenship. That came with the Luciferian system of the Pope, the Queen, and the President, which is the head of the corporate board. President, Vice President, Secretary, Treasurer, military, all that, you know what I'm saying? That's the forming of a Mort Main Trust. I've actually seen the United States' first initial UCC filing, their utility filing, that they have you attached to as a citizen / employee. Now that's the demonstration, man. If you still caught up in the construct, the matrix, the dismal crypts, for the usurping of your soul, your energy, your everything, your worth, your title, your trust, your estate, or lost estate, your life, because they got you classified as dead at sea right now just so they ain't got to count you on land. Because to each square mile of the republic, the government had a responsibility to not let it exceed a certain amount of people, because only a certain amount of people can inhabit a certain square mileage of land. But what the federal government has done is created another system to where they can still allow people to overpopulate for the purposes of rounding up adhesion signatures. This with the whole racket, man. You've been a slave, a chattel servant, a serf the whole damn time while you chasing everything that you see without. Without means without. That means you're going to end up doing without it. You're going to chase it, but you're never going to get it, and you're going to fall and bust your head while you're trying to get it, breaking their cold statues and their acts and shit, because you're not worried about your own estate, your family, the things that means everything. You're not worried about self or yourselves. You have two souls. One is a negative force, one is a positive force, as does a battery. Now, these souls are located on your physical body, on the bottom of your feet, S-O-L-E. They are a true representation of soul, S-O-L, the sun, as it rises. Alhamdulillah. But your two souls are firmly planted to this earth. I can get into a lot of metaphysical things, man, but I don't want to scare y'all, run y'all off, man. My knowledge is vast. And I'm not saying out of ego or pride, you know what I mean? I'm not going to make the mistake of past men. I'm not going to be my brother, but I'm trying to make my brother become me, if you can understand what I see. I see 144,000 or more on the land together, thriving, maybe living throwback like Little House on the Prairie back in them days, and tending to cattle and growing our own food and constructing from the trees on the land, water and all of that, putting filtration systems and things and such. No 5G nowhere, no coronavirus, COVID-19, none of that, We responsible for our own destiny. You can will it what you will. Law of attraction is you put the effort and energy out there. If you do it, think about it. You visualize it. If you can visualize it and see it in your mind's eye, you put it outward in action. You make the energy towards obtaining that. Whatever you visualize. Once you put the action forward, the universe is going to respond. It is called the law of attraction. And when you make positive action from positive thought, which is your niyat, your intention, you align your niyat into your thought, your mental picture that you create, and you throw it out into the ether sphere, which is the universe, the grand art. And I say art with A, and I say art with O, Alpha and Omega, both souls. One is an A and one is an O, man. When babies are born, they develop a patch on the base of their back, right at the base bone of your spinal cord. Did anybody know you had a base bone of your spine? It's a plate right at the seat of your back. There's a plate. Right at that base bone is where this collection of melanin and carbonation is at on babies. You can see it. It looked like a liver spot or something. But it dissolves throughout a little time because that baby starts to will unto itself a body made of desires and his will. And that is because when you're born out of the semen, you are a lumen, which is a light body, a Merkaba, and you're born perfect. As soon as your pop shoots you out into a surrounding of darkness with no air, you submerge like myrrh. You know what I'm saying? A myrrh, a submergence of a pure light, a body of light into a darkness to grow apace. They say a body beautiful. A body of desires is not a body beautiful. That's my interpretation, because a body of desires along coupled with will. So now you say why a body of desires? Because you will forth. When you are a light body, you only will. You're pure will. You're the seed of God, the God particle. Now, when you have your divine will, the only thing around you is your wound that you will unto yourself a body from, which is from your mom. Your mom is made from the most desired thing on this earth by man. So you will from her womb a body of desires because she is the most desired. So you take your mom's flesh and you will it unto yourself and make your body bones and all of that from her. But the pure seed is from your father, God Allah, which is your dad. Man and took this religious thing and bastardized it. It's so simple that a child may understand, man. We done took it out of context, out of arrogance, ego, and pride, or profit, or power, or whatever the hell it was, man. We made mistakes, man. It's time to really come to terms with self and realize and accept that we've made these mistakes in the past that misled so many that we are and we will be held accountable for. Now, when your ka and your ba, when your ba is taken and your ka is left behind here, which is like your physical existence, your ba is your soul, so to speak. When it's taken all the way to the path and you journey that path to meet Anubis, which is a soot god. See how he's black? He's a soot god. Now let me explain that too before I get so far. I don't want to get off track, but I want to explain a lot of things to y'all real quick. A soot god is, excuse me, a soot god are the darkened gods. Now when you deal with polarity, you have a zero in the middle. That is the divine compass and square. Now, which is 360, 360. It depends on what path you're taking, what path you're on in life, physical, mental, spiritual. Okay? And I don't own the rights to this music, by the way. But nonetheless, when your ka is taken, your ba is taken. Your ka is left behind. Your ba is taken to this path. You walk this path. You journey this path. You toil this path. And you travel this path until you convey into this gate. They call it the pearly gates. Whatever. Clear as a human knowledge, but blind as folly. Overstand that first. So that means erase all the thoughts that you think you had that were clear and precise. It's bullshit. Can you accept that? I have. Got on a whole different path, bro. Alhamdulillah. But your ba taken to this gate to see Anubis, you're gonna carry your own heart to this gate, and you're gonna give it to him. He's gonna weigh it to a feather on a scale. It better weigh out, inshallah. Inshallah. But if it doesn't weigh out, you don't get past that gate, meaning you don't get entrance into eternal life. You don't obtain your light body ever again because of your deeds that were recorded during your lifespan. Israel and Israfil, I think the angels' names that sit on your shoulders and record all your good and bad deeds your whole life. That's why it's a good thing to try to just mimic in stride, if you would. I wake up every day like it's the beginning of my life, and I act as if the end of the day, when I go to bed, my slumber is the end of my life. That's my dying state, physical dying state. So I try to make sure that my good deeds outweigh my bad deeds within that lifespan, which is that day. If you do this and practice this and be conscious of self in that manner every single day, you will indeed outweigh your bad deeds with your good deeds. And that is entrance into Jannah, which is beyond that pearly gate, and your heart will weigh out, inshallah, and you will make it. Now, you first got to start studying Egyptian Book of the Dead, the oldest version that you could find. You need that for a reference book. You could also use the Kybalion. You could use the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, or however you pronounce it. It is good to read the Torah. The Torah teaches you the foundation of what you think you know about Christianity. When you look at the brother El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, Noble Jew Ali, Radiyallahu An, may Allah be pleased with him, and may peace and blessings rain upon that brother. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to him. Now, if you read the Holy Quran of the MSTFA, the pamphlet, this wasn't brought as a religion. It was brought as a compilement from different walks of life. Okay? It was brought in a science to teach you how to nationalize and save yourselves. And it was brought in a theology to teach you the true teachings of what you call religion. Re, the God, or re, to do over, to do again. Re, that's what it means. Legend. Legend has changed in pronunciation throughout the times, throughout the tribes. Legion. The I was replaced with the EE. Legion. You could pronounce it long I. Same word. Religion. Legion means to bring back together. To bring together. Do again. Bring it back together. To bring back together again. Now, how simple is that? How many complicated doctrines does it take man to be arrogant enough to apply to something so perfect and pure that a child may understand? You got to get past your arrogance, man, and humble yourself, man, by seeking selves. Seek your soul. Start from your feet that's planted to the earth, where you draw energy from the earth, the grandmother. After you're born out of your mom's womb, as a body of will and desire, you also get a chance to develop love and wisdom. But that enacts positivity and righteousness, not hatred, slanders, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms that's connected to Satan, devil, dragon, beast, Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. Man, this is the lower nature, the carnal nature of man, of human. This is the soot god, you. You are the soot god. Get behind me, Satan. Now, Shayateen. Now, we got a different understanding of Shayateen clan. A Shayateen clan is a clan of jinn, ancient beings that's made of smokeless fire. Shayateen clan are the strongest clan of jinn, and the one that they call Lucifer, really his name is Iblis. Iblis was raised to the level of angels. He's not an angel, he's a jinn, okay? He glowed different than the angels because angels are made of pure light. Iblis is made of fire, so he was arrogant in his ways because he was made differently than the angels, and he always thought he was the best. Allah granted him the title as the most devout servant of the strongest clan of the jinn, which were the Shayateen clan. Hence the word shaitan, then changing in religion to Satan to Satan. Do the math, look it up. Don't just believe some face valued information that you seek from ones that you think knowledgeable, man. Do the lookup, do the reference, do the citing. Stop accepting everything you hear, man. It ain't gonna get you nowhere but dead, because everything you hear comes from a man that's based and layered with ego, will, pride, and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? The shit that made us fall in the first place. You gotta seek to align with the two that held, because there's more than two. There's a lot of angels, man. And you got to be careful how you treat people as human, because you might be entertaining one. And that's real. Now, the polar opposites of the galaxies. You have 9 galaxies in one direction, 9 galaxies in another direction, just like the mathematic table with the circle in the middle. Now, these galaxies has a transit system. This transit system is traveled around with they call it the age of Aquarius. Every round about 240 years, it comes back around, the age of Aquarius. It brings along with it Nibiru, the planet Nibiru, and its moons and such. You know what I'm saying? And it also brings its own sun. The sun is called Sirius. S. Now, this sun Sirius will activate the carbon-6 man, the carbonated man, just as does sand. When pressurized and heated, it makes glass, crystal, okay? Darker, denser dirt creates diamonds. Now, carbon is a more refined, like matter, substance. Carbon is the darkest, purest form of anything black. That's just what it is. That's what we're made of. Now, this carbon that resides within us through and throughout. You see me. My carbon overpowers the tattoos that I try to get. That's how pure it is. So, When that's under intense heat and pressure, what do you think that turns into? See, you gotta do the knowledge, man. Know who you are. Yourself. Know who you are, man. Know what you made of, man. You God. You are God. Now, I'm gonna show you by example what happens to carbon when it's pressurized in due time. Sabr, patience. I have sabr. I have patience. I will wait for this transformation. I would do anything and everything that it takes, colloidalizing my cellular structure with silver and gold instead of the heavy minerals that we subsidize our bodies with, iron and all of that. You know what I mean? The poisons, the mercuries and all of that. We ain't need all that. We need some more refined stuff that we don't get from these soils that we would get from our indigenous soil of Amexem, because that's where it's made at. That's what we made at. That's what we sprung forth. Amexem. Now, moving on. You got 9 galaxies this way. Each one has a sun. 9 galaxies the other way. One side with the suns are stars. They're lit up in nature. They produce light, energy, all right? Purest form. Sun, just like your son, me, the sun, you, sun. Soul, souls on your feet, both feet. Sun, soul, S-O-L, sun, re, sun. Everything is sun. Well, I'm going to tell you about the polarity, yo. The sun's this way. Now, if this is a negative side on the opposite end over here, you got the suns this way, 9 of them, with the galaxies that align. Now, this way, you got the suns, but what is a dying star? A star that has died, because energy never dies, it just transfers or transmute. It transmutes or transfers eternally and infinitely. It never dies. Energy always lives on forever. Time never was and man was not. But some ones will. Their time gonna stop and freeze. As the wrath come down upon your head like the sword of old Damocles. Hey, but then the other dying stars, the 9 used to be suns or had never been suns, they are died. They dead. They are black holes. These suns on the positive side put out light, put out, energy,